talk a little bit today about MatrixWorks, which is the art and the science of helping groups, individuals, large organizations, learn to function as living systems. But first I'd like to say just a few words about myself. I'm a 108-year-old Tibetan elf, and I live in the mountains of Boulder, Colorado. I've been working in the field of human potential for a long time and bringing the group work into organizations, large corporations and nonprofits since 1999. So I've been around the block a few times and probably have facilitated 100,000 groups. So MatrixWorks is a really simple model. It's an understanding of how development happens. And we've come to define it or describe it as a social innovation technology. And by that, what is meant is that by accessing our hardwired need for connection, desire for connection, then something larger than the sum of the parts is able to emerge, both for individuals and groups, and as I said, for large organizations. So one of the things that seems to happen whenever this model is applied is that people in the organization or on the team have their own personal transformation. So there's a lot that happens individually for people. Even though the focus is on the group, it's as if by making the group healthy, the individuals are able to become more of who they are, which is a wonderful thing. The other thing that we notice is that business results, if the work is being used in a business context, also improve. And in organizations, it seems easier to realize and to meet the organizational goals. So both elements are really important. The group, individuals are able to accomplish their task, but they're also able to have a sense of connection, a sense of being happy at work. And there's a lot of research that supports that. That's a key to retaining employees and also to production. When we began a MatrixWorks process, we always start with a moment of mindfulness. This is actually a technique that I have learned through my practice of the Hakomi method of psychotherapy, and I am also a Hakomi trainer. And so I'd like to lead you through this moment of mindfulness, because in just a few minutes it's possible to change the state of consciousness of an individual or a group. So if you're willing, please close your eyes and just allow yourself to relax for a few seconds. You can imagine that your energy moves into the back of your body. You might take a breath and just let yourself let go of efforting. It's almost as if you could fall into the bones of the body and just settle. And in a moment I'm going to offer to you a potentially nourishing phrase. But I'm not offering this or saying this so that it has to be believed, or even that I'm assuming that it's totally true. It's more like I'm offering a pebble into the pond of your mind so that you can watch whatever happens all by itself. So noticing what takes place, what occurs all by itself when you hear me say, relationship is all there is. Relationship is all there is. And as you receive this phrase, you might notice, just with your awareness, that you have a feeling, perhaps of sadness or curiosity or happiness. You might have a thought or hear a phrase in your mind or see an image. You might also have a memory come up. whatever happens, it's okay. It's just your awareness communicating with you. So when you're ready, please begin to come back into contact with this time and with this experience of hearing about MatrixWorks. So I hope you're feeling more relaxed and have your attention focused, and we'll continue with this overview of MatrixWorks. And by the way, this is just a simple introduction today, and in subsequent offerings on the website and on YouTube, we'll be going into more detail for the components of MatrixWorks, with the sincere hope that it can help you and your work with groups and with individuals and organizations. So one of the key components of this model is what we call the Emergent Cycle, and this is taken from New Science, the term Emergent Cycle. And basically it's understanding that individuals and groups go through 3 spirals in order to emerge as a living system. And these spirals are, first, the spiral of connection. And once enough connection is established in the group or organization, then the second spiral will be the spiral of chaos, sometimes also called the conflict stage. But it's really broader than just conflict. It's a time where the energies can be discordant, and they can either be creative or they can be confused. And I'll say more about that in a few minutes. The third spiral is the spiral of consciousness, and in this spiral, the individual and the group are able to live paradoxes, and there is a more integrated relationship between the parts and the whole. And this spiral draws a lot on Ken Wilber's work around holons, which assumes that each part is whole in itself and yet a part of something larger. So with just that brief explanation, I'd like to go a little more deeply into to each of these aspects of the emergent cycle, and beginning with connection and the role of connectivity in living systems. And actually, New Science teaches us that anything living uses networks of connection as its basic pattern of organization. If you think about nature, if you think about the human body, there's an intricate web of connection, and this allows for communication and for the exchange of energy and information. And so what we're trying to do in MatrixWorks is use this understanding to support the interconnectedness of people in groups and teams and organizations. So reflect, if you will, for just a moment about what skills that you feel like you have to establish connection in groups and in organizations. How is the role of connection played out in your organization? Are people able to bring their whole selves to work? These are questions that become important if you want to work with a matrix model to bring about health in your organization or in your group and associations. But moving into the spiral of chaos, as I said earlier, the main point with chaos is to be able to normalize it, to be able to understand when the chaos is reflecting a confusion that simply spirals around and around, versus the kind of chaos that, if worked with carefully and correctly, is able to transform into the reorganization and reordering into a higher level of complexity. And that we refer to as creative chaos. And this is a very exciting time in a group when there will be the manifestation of chaos and everything seems like it's in such disarray and disorder. And in a magical moment, when the right voices or pieces are in the room, this can transform into something that no one could have dreamed of. And this is what happens with the innovation process and why this is so useful in business. So, the final spiral of the emergent cycle is referred to as consciousness. And as I said, this is the opportunity for the group to have, and the individual to have the capacity to live paradoxes. This is a time in the life of the individual and group when opposites are no longer oppositional, but they're integrated. And so that our need for, say, safety and newness or novelty can coexist. They can be together. Or the need for to be able to contain our feelings and the need to express our feelings are no longer diametrically opposed, but seen as a part of a scale that we want to have full access to, that I can express and contain, and I can do them simultaneously whenever this is needed. Is that we teach consciousness is to use the metaphor of fractals. And fractals are these beautiful geometric designs that are based on a very simple equation iterated again and again on the computer. And they result in very beautiful forms, each part of which is a smaller version, self-similar version of the larger part. And so the understanding that we gleaned from the work with chaos shows up with fruition in consciousness through the metaphor of fractals. Okay, so all living systems are fractal in nature. And fractals reveal for us the simplicity inside complexity, the wholeness inside fragmentation. They also reveal the infinite inside the finite. So truly they are holographic in nature. And these three keys, the simplicity, the wholeness, and the infinite, are part of what we have as humans and can be expressed as our human potential in our organizations, in ourselves, and in all the groups in which we take part. So I hope you'll come back again and learn more about MatrixWorks and how we build health in organization.